All right. So today for math, we will be doing Unit 11, Lesson 7, Measure Length Using Feet and Yards. In the last lesson with Miss Diaz, you measured objects using inches and centimeters. Those are typically measured with a ruler because they're objects that are smaller typically. Now, you can use a ruler to measure larger things, but the goal is to always find what's the most appropriate tool to measure your objects. Because if you're measuring, say you're measuring a house, you're not going to want to use a ruler, right? Because that's going to take you hours or long times, or maybe there'll be many errors because it's not accurate. So, again, the goal is always to find the most appropriate tool to measure whatever object that you're measuring. Okay, so yesterday you guys were measuring things like paintbrushes and markers, things like that. Today, we're gonna be measuring things that are a little bit longer. Not very. It's not. We're not gonna measure things that are that much bigger. Um, the exercise does ask you to measure a couple of your classmates, but because we're not in school, obviously that's not possible, right? So, just a note ahead of time, you will need to measure things with the yardstick, but if you don't have a yardstick, I'll show you a trick, or we'll learn a trick right here when we get into it. But we'll also, if you don't have the things that they're asking you to measure inside of the exercise, then go ahead and measure something else around your house. But we'll go over that when we get to that problem. All right, so today our objective is I will measure lengths of several objects to the nearest whole unit using feet and yards. Okay, so it's key to understand that we're going to measure several objects to the nearest whole unit. So in later years, you're going to measure things to maybe a more specific a specific number. So you'll learn how to measure in feet plus inches, or feet and centimeters, things like that. But for today, we're gonna use our tools, and we're gonna measure to the nearest feet, or the nearest foot or yard. Okay, so let's get going. So we have two vocabulary words that are important to our lesson. The first is foot. Okay, we abbreviate or shorten it by writing the letters FT. Okay, a foot is equal to 12 inches. Okay, again, 1 foot equals 12 inches. We measure it using a ruler or a yardstick. Okay. Also, again, remember I told you that there might be a trick, and you learned yesterday that there was a trick to measure out centimeters, and this will give you just a rough estimate that for our foot, it's about from about the elbow to the wrist. So here's my arm, here's my elbow. I know, I'm sorry, it's not very good quality, or I can't fit my whole arm in the camera, but here's my elbow, and then we're going to go down to here to the wrist. So from about my elbow to my wrist, see if I can fit it in. From my elbow to my wrist, okay, that is about 1 foot. Now, obviously, you guys are all going to have different size arms or lengths, right? But it's just, again, it's just an estimate, okay? So if you don't have a yardstick, this is equal to 1 foot. All right. Then the second word that our second vocabulary word for today is yard. Okay. A yard is equal to 36 inches or 3 feet. So imagine that this is 1 foot. Okay, that's 1 foot. That's my elbow to my wrist. 1 foot. 1 FT. Okay, a yard is 3 of these. So 1, 2, 3. So from here to here is 1 foot. Okay, from here, oops, sorry, grabbing a pen. From here to here is 1 yard, and we abbreviate it with YD. Here to here is 1 foot. 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, which is 36 inches, is 1 yard. Okay, got it? Awesome. All right, so number 1 says to measure the object using a yardstick or a measuring tape. Okay, so today I have a yardstick. And a yardstick, all a yardstick is a large ruler. Keeps going. Oh, you can't see it anymore. Okay, here's my yardstick. You also could use a measuring tape. A measuring tape is basically just like a yardstick, but it's flexible. It can roll. I don't have an example of one, but if you can ask your parents or your grandparents, maybe they have one. Okay. Again, if you do not have either one of these, don't worry about it. You can measure objects around your house using your forearm, your arm, from your elbow to your wrist. Okay. Step number 2 is to record the measurement in feet or yards. Remember, we are just writing the nearest whole unit, and we'll see what that looks like in a second. Okay, number 1. Measure 3 long pieces of string at varying lengths using a yardstick or measuring tape. Okay, record the measurement in feet and yards. So here are my strings, my long pieces of strings, and it said at varying lengths. That means at different lengths. So I'm going to line them up, and I'm going to check that they are different lengths, and you can see that it's 3. You barely can see the white one, but yes, they are different lengths. My black one ends first, then it's my blue one, and my white one ends all the way down here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the black one. Okay, here is my ruler. Remember that 1 foot is 12 inches. Okay, 1 foot, 1 foot is 12 inches. Okay, about the size of a ruler. The ruler is 12 inches, usually 12 inches. Okay. What I would do is for every 12 inches, so here is my ruler. Okay. For every 12 inches, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. This is hard because the camera doesn't fit my whole ruler. Okay. All right. So here we go. What I would do is every 12 inches, here's 12, I would write 1 tally mark, because how many feet is 12 inches? 1, correct. So here we go. I'm going to put my object, and you always have to start at 0, or you need to start at the end line. Here's my string. See, it lines up with the edge, and I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to hold it there so it doesn't move. Okay, and I'm going to move it down, and I'm going to take it. Here's 12. Okay, so that's 1 foot. I'm going to put my thumb there, and I'm going to keep going. Remember I told you for every 12, I'm going to write 1 tally mark. So I'm going to write 1 tally mark, because I know that my string is at least 1 foot. Okay, so here's my thumb where it was holding in place the string. Now I'm going to take the string. I can do 2 things. I know that 12 plus 12 is 24, so there is 2 feet right here. Okay. That's one way. And then it doesn't go 12 more inches. So I'm just going to write 24. I'm going to write 2 feet, because that's 2 feet. About 2 feet. It doesn't go to to 3 feet, because 3 feet is 3/36. All right. Or what I would do, what you could do is take your thumb where it was. Remember, we go from the edge to 12. Bear with me, sorry. 0 to all the way to 12. What you could do is take your thumb and move the string back to 0. So that's 1 foot. And that's another foot. So you would write another tally mark for that 12. Do it again. Put your thumb here and move it down. And then could you add another tally mark? Is there another set of 12? No. So how many feet is that? 2. 2 feet. Okay? And then you need to see how many yards it is. But remember, how many yards do you have to have? How many feet do you have to make 1 yard? 1, 2, 3. Do we have 3 yards? No. So we're just going to write 0 yards. Okay. All right. So then we're going to do the next one. I'm going to do the next ones a little bit faster. Okay, I'm going to do the blue string next. So here is my, let me move it a little bit. I'm sorry. Give me a second. We could do this. Okay. There we go. It's a little bit better. All right. So starting at the 0. Okay. Here's 12. Remember, you can do one of 2 things. You can either lay the string across the whole stick, and then you can count off how many sets of 12, or you can just move it every 12. So here's 0 to 12. I'm going to put my thumb on where the string is on the 12, and then I'm just going to move it down, because that's 1. That was 1 foot. That was 1 foot. Here is another. That's 2. Here's 3. Remember to be making the tally marks, because you need to keep track of how many feet you're measuring. 3. Let's see if I can get one more. Oh, yep. 4. Can I get another one? No. So how many feet were there? 4. Good. Then, how many feet are in 1 yard? 3. So here's 1, 2, 3. Can I make another set of 3? No. So how many yards do I have? 1. Good. All right, let's keep going. This is the last string. Uh-oh, I got a knot. I got a knot in my string. Sorry, guys. Trying to take it out. Sorry. All right, I can't get it out. Oh, there we go. All right. So one more time. Start at 0, move to 12, and that's 1. Write my tally mark. Bring it to 0. 2. Write my tally mark. 3. Write my tally mark. 4. Write my tally mark. 5. Write my tally mark. And I can't make another one. So that's it. So I'm going to write, how many feet do we have? 5 feet. How many yards do we have? We're going to circle every set of 3. 1, 2, 3. Can we make another set of 3? No. So that's 1 yard. Okay. The biggest thing to remember here is that every set of 12 inches is 1 foot. Every set of 12 inches is 1 foot. This is 1 foot. Okay. If you want, or if you know your 12 multiplication facts, then it should be easy for you to measure a whole one string with your yardstick, because you can just look at the inches and say, oh, here's 12. I know that 12 is 1 foot, so that's 1 foot, and I know that 12 times 2 is 24, so that's 2 feet. And then 12 times 3 is 36. That's 3 feet. So if you take a string like our blue string, okay, and you put it against the yardstick, and you go all the way to 36, you know that 12 times 3 is 36, which means that's 3 feet. You don't have to keep on repeating the tally marks over and over again. Okay, but if you're not very familiar with your 12 multiplication facts, then doing it this way is going to be the easiest way. There are other ways, like if you were to put it up against the string against the yardstick, so that's 12, and then you can count on. But again, when we're dealing with math, the most important thing is to do the most appropriate or the fastest way. Okay, but it's going to be the fastest way that's most comfortable for you. So do whatever you need to do to make it easier for yourself. Okay, so again, you can reset, put your finger on the string and slide it down and count the sets of 12 that way. Or if you know your facts, do it that way too. So I'll go quickly over the 12 math facts. So 1 times 12 is 12. 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 12 is 36. 4 times 12 is 48. Okay, on a yardstick or my yardstick, it doesn't even go to 48. So that's all I can do. Okay, and then I have to restart over my sets of 12. All right. Okay, so the next one they want us to measure 4 strands of paper clips. I'm going to do this kind of quickly because this video is getting a little bit long, and I know it's easier for you to have shorter videos. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Here, starting at the 0, I'm going to measure it all the way to 12. There's 12, so that's at least 1 foot. There's my tally mark. But I need to put my thumb exactly where the 12 is. Or roughly where the 12 is. If I just move it down, it's not going to count. And then I put it down here, and look at that. It can't go, it doesn't even go past halfway. Halfway is 6. So, that's only 1 foot. 1 foot, 0 yards. Next, here it is. Put my finger on 12 and slide it down. And that was 1. And it goes a little bit past 12, so that's 2. 2 feet. How many feet need to be in a yard? 3, right. So do we have any yards? No. right, here's a little bit longer. 12, that's 1. Here's 2, 3, and nothing. So 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 feet. Do I have any yards? Yes, because 3 feet equals 1 yard. So I have 1 yard. Okay, last one. Here's 1. Here's 2. And it doesn't go past half. So 2. 2 feet. How many yards? 0. Because only 3 feet make 1 yard. Alright. So easy peasy, guys. The rest of the objects, again, they want you to measure the heights of classmates. Okay, so it asks you, use a yardstick measuring or a measuring tape to measure 2 different classmates of varying heights, so different heights. Okay, so again, you don't have access to classmates, but maybe you have a brother or sister, or maybe you have a cousin, or a mom or dad, or a grandma or grandpa, someone around your house that you can measure. Maybe you can measure yourself. Okay, maybe you can be classmate number 1 and then measure somebody else around the house. And if you are waiting around for someone to come, then just wait until later and plug it in. Okay, again, how many inches are in a foot? How many inches? 12 inches equals 1 foot. 12 inches equals 1 foot. And how many feet equal 1 yard? Right, 3 feet equals 1 yard. All right. If you do not have a measuring tape or a yardstick, you're going to measure using your arm. Okay. So here is my string. Okay. Here is my arm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my the object next to my arm, and I'm going to say, oh, oops. I can put it on top of my arm. And hopefully if someone is there around you, they can help you. But here you go. Here's 1, right? Put it to the end just like I was using a yardstick. And here's my wrist right here. So I'm going to put, that's 1. 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I would remember to do tally marks, and then write and then convert it to your paper. Okay, you can do things like your couch. Maybe you can use your arm to measure how many arm lengths is your couch if you do not have the other one. This number 2 says use a yardstick or measuring tape to measure 2 sets of connected Unifix cubes at varying lengths. Do you have Unifix cubes at home? Maybe you do. Some students might, but I know that I don't. So what I would do is find a different object around my house. So I can measure, again, like the couch. You can do the couch. You can do anything, guys. Maybe you have a lamp. Maybe you have a kitchen table. Maybe you have something else around the house. It doesn't matter. But what I would do is I would make sure to cross out Unifix cubes because that's not what I'm measuring. And then I would write in whatever I'm going to do. So connected Unifix cubes. I'm sorry. Let's cross that whole thing out. And then I would write couch and refrigerator. Okay, those are ideas that just came to my head. You can come up with anything. Look around your house. Maybe use something that's accessible in front of you and something that you can reach. So I might be able to measure my refrigerator because I'm tall enough to do it without grabbing a chair and putting myself in danger. But you can use things like a chair. Maybe you're sitting on a chair right now. Okay, measure your chair with your arm or your measuring tape or your measuring stick. Okay, up to you. But you can find objects around your house yourself. Alright guys, get going. Good luck.